As soon as action gets here, we're starting. They were out at the beach.
Okay, thanks. All right.
Hey, so good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight. This evening around 7, just after 7 p.m., one of our patrol officers was just doing patrol in a neighborhood in a community here around the 4200 block of Jillian. And while there, a call for service went out from HQ. He was close by. A citizen in the neighborhood pointed him in the direction of the call. He responded to that call, and I'm going to let Chief Parker give you all the details of what happened after that. Chief.
Thank you, Sheriff. So good evening. Like the Sheriff said, the officer was just patrolling the neighborhood here, and while he was in there, a call went out for a fight with injuries in the same neighborhood. So officers were dispatched to the 4200 block of Jillian Drive. It was just after 7 p.m. While he was riding through the area, he was flagged down, like the Sheriff said, by some people down the road. They pointed to where the same incident was occurring. So as he responded, he got there just approximately about 7:09 p.m. As he got out, he went in between the houses where he could hear all the yelling coming from. And if you picture, the two houses are obviously side by side. And where the backyard started, there was one of these white vinyl fences like you see here to the side that was separating the front yard from the backyard. As he comes into the area, there's a middle-aged Hispanic male down on the ground bleeding. On top of him is an older lady on top of him. She's also bleeding. There's blood all over the fence. There's another individual to the left, and there's a suspect. Our suspect is standing in front of them holding knives. So the officer starts to give commands saying, hey, drop the weapons, drop the weapons, drop the knives. The guy doesn't respond. We find out that he'd been drinking all day. Don't know what the relationship is between these people. They all know each other from what we understand. We're still working through the exact relationship. So he continues to give this guy commands to drop the knives. The guy does not drop the knives. He was holding both in his left hand at one point, and then he takes and gets one in either hand. They have pretty large butcher knives like you'd have in your kitchen. As he pulls them both up, he goes back and gets within just a couple feet of these two people to attack him again, and the officer engages him and shoots him. He goes down on the ground. The officer holds him at gunpoint until the other officer is able to arrive, and at that point they start rendering aid to him. JFRD responded. They transported him to a local hospital. He did not survive his injuries. The state attorney is on scene conducting their independent investigation, and I'll give you the officer's information at this time. It's Officer DeLong Zhang, and I'll spell it. First name is D-E-L-O-N-G. Last name is Z-H-E-N-G. ID number 79056. This is his first officer-involved shooting. He's been with us for 7 years. This is the 7th officer-involved shooting for JSO this year. And the suspect, we haven't made next of kin notification yet, so we're not releasing his information at this time since he's deceased. However, I can tell you he's a 58-year-old Hispanic male. So, and with that, we can take any questions.
Any idea what led to the initial attack?
No idea. They were, like I said, they'd been drinking, or he'd been drinking all day, from what we understand. There is some type of relationship between all these people. We're still working through that to figure out what it is. And it was bad enough that somebody called in. There was an armed, fight with injuries. And while those officers were being dispatched, this guy just happened to be, this officer was in the neighborhood and got flagged down himself. So it was pretty loud, causing a lot of commotion.
What is the status of the officer? Is he being placed on administrative leave?
That's standard for all these, yeah. So no different than any other officer-involved incident, yep. So the other two victims, I believe, are going to be okay. They're still being evaluated as well. So they've cut up pretty good, it looked like, but it looks like they're going to be okay.
Can you clarify what kind of knives and how many there were?
2 knives. It's kind of, I don't know, estimate 6 to 8 inch blades, like butcher knives, like you'd have in your kitchen. All right, thank y'all.
Max?